All right, let's get this party started. Well, after show started. So, welcome to Daredevil Born Again after show live stream with your host, the one and only Cinema Fans. Let's wait for people to get up in here. Let me share to everyone. Well, real quick, share. Let's see. Film Fanatics, he won't be here. Phil, Elite, Comic Nerd, Stu. I wish I can just hit everyone at once. Oh well. Yeah, so. Bang, bang, bang. So, I haven't actually given my full review yet. I've been waiting. I'm going to wait till later tonight to actually give my final review because I want to hear everyone else's thoughts. I've read quite a few reviews so far. I've rewatched it about 2 times now. So I have my thoughts. Overall, Daredevil Born Again, episode 1 and 2, I give episode 1 an 8 out of 10, and I give episode 2 a 8.2 out of 10. I know on Twitter I said it was a 10 out of 10, but yeah, I just, yeah. Yeah, so what's up? What's up, Comic Nerd? I don't mean to be rude, but how can you... Do you have like a dialogue thing? Like a... What's it called? Subtitles on live streams? I don't know how that works, so... But I don't know if you can even hear me, so... What's up? Welcome to the after show. Tell me your thoughts of Daredevil Born Again, what you think about the first 2 episodes. Guest requests are open, so come up on here, tell me what you thought about Daredevil Born Again, episode 1 and 2. So, personally, I thought they were great. She was whack. Well, come up on here and tell me why. Guest requests are open. But you have to be 18 plus only. So, if you're underage, you can't be on here. So, the floor is for y'all. But I'll be more than happy to talk about it. I'll be honest with you. Like the first episode, for me, I had to really rewatch again because I get what they were doing, but I have to say I was kind of caught off guard. But I think that was more of a personal problem for me than an actual show problem. If you have nothing else other to add and then just saying shit was whack, then yeah. Like I said, the live stream is open to guest requests. You can join the live if you want, if you can add more to the topic. Instead of just saying that. Okay, you're just going to be that way. All right, cool. Daredevil Born Again, episode 1 and 2. Again, episode 1 was all right. For me, personally. Oh, my bad. Okay, hold on. Gotcha. Are you even in here? Show was disappointing. I'm interested in hearing people's other... hey, you, how old are you? Before I add you in here. What's your age? God, I don't want to... If you're... Okay, cool. All right. Gotcha.
Hello.
Hello there.
I thought this show was really disappointing because I'm really into Daredevil. Just to get into it, I rewatched season 3 and some of season 2, and I got to be honest, this new show kind of sucks. I have 5 problems with it. I'm wondering what you thought of them. So my first one is how is Poindexter even walking? Because at the end of season 3, he was paralyzed.
Well, I believe there was a post-credit scene that was setting up that they couldn't say the name because of the rights at the time with X-Men, but adamantium in his spine and whatnot. So they did leave that open.
Okay. Also, I don't even... Oh, God. I think it was so dumb to kill Foggy. Sorry, I'm alive Foggy in the first 10 minutes. Like, I thought that was the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how Fisk is even out of prison or how he can even run for the mayor.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm kind of. I want to know more of what happened between season three
I
and
think it's implied that he got blipped or something because that was during the therapy scene. I don't know.
well, in Echo, they kind of make it believe that he was active during the blip. I know Matt, I think, was active during the blip as well, and Punisher as well. Um, but then again, they can change that up and fix that whole thing.
I mean, obviously, there's only 2 episodes, but I got a lot of problems with it. I mean, like
Yeah.
fucking Matt doesn't isn't acting like Matt.
Hmm.
He's acting like an asshole for like no reason, and he doesn't act like Matt from season 1 or 2.
Yeah, I can notice there's a tone shift a bit. Like,
I have a list. Hold on, let me bring up my list real quick so I don't forget.
yeah, like I noticed there's a tone shift a bit, but I think like for the first episode, you can tell that was the full like episode they read on, like because they did a whole because originally they shot the show it to be not canon to the Netflix stuff, and then they went back and I think got rid of a couple episodes and kept some that worked with the season, and then reshot the episode one and episode.
It's clear that that the first 15 minutes were part of the original script because there were leaks from a year ago talking about this exact thing happening.
Yeah.
And I thought they changed it, but it's pretty obvious that this is still, the original what they thought. I also don't get how it's a good idea for the showrunners to decide, hey guys, we're bringing back Foggy and Karen, but no, Karen's going to be in San Francisco, and Foggy's not even going to be there. Like I don't get it. And they replaced it with that random black chick. I don't know her name though.
Oh,
Like she's not even a good character. She's just like a base character. She's like a nothing character.
are you talking about the lawyer, the one that works
Yes,
with?
the lawyer that Matt's with in his firm.
Yes, I can't remember her name. Duffin, I believe, is her name. Last
See,
name.
that's how unmemorable she is.
Well, I know there is she is in the comics. I just don't. She's not very like famously known. But
I mean, like I thought that the fight was okay. I mean, it's very fake. It's a fake one shot. It's about 15 cuts.
yeah, I was kind of hoping a little bit more from that.
And I don't get how Matt was like still fighting after having 9 knives in him. I counted it.
Well, to be fair, I mean the man's had like everything possible cut him up, like from Nobu and the
Yeah, I
hand.
mean, like if he can survive the end of season 2, I mean, then I guess the believability's out the window. But
Yeah, I mean, I was having a conversation with my friend of mine. We were talking about him throwing Bullseye off the building, and he was saying
yeah,
that's
I was pissed. I'm like, you just broke the code. You ruined him.
well. I mean, he did technically survive, but my rebuttal to that was if we go back to season one and two. Season one, remember when him and Claire were investigating that Russian uh, wannabe cop, and he threw him off the building, and they landed into the dumpster thing. And then season two, when Elektra and Daredevil were fighting Nobu at the end, and when he killed Elektra, spoiler alert, um, takes Nobu with his baton things and grabbed him by his neck and just threw him off the building, not knowing if he was survived by that.
Yeah, but the problem is that Matt in season 3, his whole thing was not crossing over that line. And even in season 2, when he was talking with the Punisher on the roof, his whole thing was that he doesn't cross that small line, and that he is like one bad day away from being the Punisher, from being that terrible person that just complete vengeance, basically.
I think
And
that's
during
what
season 3, like he kind of like comes back from that. Like he learns at the very end when he keeps Fisk alive.
well, the thing is with Daredevil, and I think they're adapting more into this Zdarsky stuff. The thing with season one and two and three, even with Frank Miller actually let Daredevil kill people. Like in
Well,
his,
I don't know anything about the comics. I'm just going off of the show.
yeah,
Like
with the
the only thing
show.
I don't really read a lot of the comics. I'm just basing it off the show continuity.
Well, my point is that if going forward, I think they're going to get more into what that means for the character and testing the boundaries with that character, which they do in the comics. And that was just another instance where they're testing the boundaries. I have a feeling they might cross that line. I hope not. It's
I,
been
I also have a problem with the pacing of the show because it feels like it wants to be like a slow burn, like an Andor type thing, but
Mm.
they rust. I thought they were going to do more with Fisk, like, running for office, and they would do that to explain why he got out of prison and is able to run again. Like, all they do is say he got the signatures, and then they have the debate in the background. And you can't understand anything, and then he just becomes mayor. I thought what was going to happen was that he was going to like manipulate the police or something like that first, and get all the opponents like to his side or something like that, so we could see, so the audience could see what Fisk is like in the political spectrum. But I thought that was what the whole season one was going to be. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be the mayor at the very end.
Yeah, they didn't. I feel like they didn't give him. I wish they'd give him more time with Kingpin becoming mayor and letting that. They kind of play with that a little bit with BB Yerkes. I think that's her granddaughter, or
It's yeah, her uncle was the guy that Fisk like choked out.
yeah. So they her interviewing the New York people. I guess giving that some sort of. I'll give one credit to the show when it comes to the New York. I think they give the New York City more character than they did in the actual OG show a little bit with the more interviews with other people. Kind of remind me of Spider Man, the first one, where they went around interviewing people about Spider Man and whatnot. It kind of remind me of that a little bit.
I mean, kind of. I mean, it's really a nothing thing in terms of like the plot of the show. Maybe this woman will be important later. I just don't know. I mean, I don't. I just have a lot of problems. I don't like White Tiger. I think he sounds dumb. And
Mm-hmm.
hearing like, because this show's supposed to be ground, based in boots to the ground type thing, like small scale. And hearing like after watching Daredevil and rewatching, hearing magical amulet, magical amulet 5 times in like 15 minutes was just infuriating. Like it was like a She-Hulk episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just, oh God, like the fighting is okay. I know that they got the fight guy from season 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have a problem with the fighting, besides it's obvious that the first fight was CGI.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of problems. I was really looking forward to this show, and it's my breaking point with if I'm going to stay with Marvel, because I've been watching this crap since 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sucks. Like I was watching Severance, and then I watched Daredevil. I'm like, oh my God, there's a big difference. And then I look at IMDb, and these episodes are 9s, and I don't know if I'm watching the same thing as everyone else.
Yeah. My thing is I'm kind of on the other side that enjoyed it a little bit, but I had to really take a minute. I'm still kind of processing all of it because like I preferred episode 2 more than episode 1, but
I
episode 1
agree.
it caught me off guard a little bit because see I did like a full rewatch of all the shows like the past 2 months, and going into this show it kind of the pacing was way more different than the other shows. So I was kind of like caught off guard and it kind of took me back a little
I don't
bit.
get why they didn't get Drew Goddard back. Like he's obviously not busy with The Last of Us 2 anymore, so he could have obviously done something with the show.
Yeah.
He was the showrunner, if you remember,
Mhm.
and he directed the really good episodes in The Last of Us with the Kansas City plot.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, I can tell there's some familiar. Not looking back on it, it's a little bit familiar.
I mean, if I have to rank this, it's probably obviously going to be the best MCU show because all of them suck, besides maybe like one episode of Moon Knight.
Mm.
I mean, obviously it's more like middle end Marvel. I wouldn't rank this higher than anything like, I don't know. To me, right now, this is like Age of Ultron level, but that's me personally.
Yeah.
Like this is just kind of meh.
So you're gonna continue watching the show?
I mean, like the only thing I need them to explain for it to be to think that they had competent writers was for them to explain how Fisk got out of prison and explain basically a lot of things from season 3 ending and why Fisk is even back, because it's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
I think what they're doing, because in the therapy scene, I think they were talking about him getting blipped, so maybe that's why. I just don't know. I think it was funny how they brought up Echo though. It was really funny. I didn't think they'd do that.
That's an interesting point. They probably will bring that up in there. I didn't think about that.
In the second episode, when they're at the diner, he's talking about how he got pew in the eye.
Yeah. Yeah, there's subtle references to Hawkeye and Echo. They didn't really mention much of She-Hulk though.
Oh, thank God! If She-Hulk shows up in the show, I'm turning it off.
Oh man, we can't now.
Like I don't even like.
He's got a love interest now, so he can't really do none of that stuff.
I know. I mean, like, I have no problem. Like, the characters, like, I just have a problem. I don't know why they decided to kill Foggy. Like, why would you do that? Like,
Yeah.
what's the point of, marketing as, oh, we're bringing everyone back, and then getting rid of half the cast?
Hold on. Caleb, jump out and jump back in.
You're echoing.
Why?
You're echoing.
You gotta jump out and jump back in. Hold on. Disconnect. Try sending the request again, Caleb. Sorry, what were we saying?
I mean, the really good things I could say is that obviously it has good directing, and obviously they used real sets. I mean, the only time Disney's used real sets was with this and Andor, which I obviously will applaud them both for actually, using their money effectively.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're not doing it with the actors, because the actors are just kind of meh. They're not terrible. They're just kind of meh.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't tell you any of the new characters' names. I couldn't tell you the black lawyer that Matt hangs out with. I couldn't tell you his new love interest. I couldn't tell you anyone that's with Fisk right now, like the guy that impressed him or the new what? Also, they replaced. Did you notice they replaced the British guy with the new British guy?
Well, I think
Because I thought Felix Manning was still alive.
yeah, well, he might be still in prison, to be honest with you, because he did get captured by cops. But then
But
again,
not Fisk or Poindexter.
yes, exactly. Well, I think that's to my point about Foggy, because I've been telling people that yeah, they kill him or unalive him off, but and I know you said not. Caleb, are you on your Bluetooth thing?
I think it's because of his mic.
Yeah. In the comics, I know you don't bring up the comic, but the reason why I bring up the comics is that in the comics, multiple times, which I think they're going towards the witness protection route, and
No, he is absolutely done. No, there's no way he's bringing them back. He was literally
he's
he's
coming
his
back.
last breath. There's no way.
He's coming back.
Hey guys, sorry I'm
No,
late. I
if they
had
bring
to
him back, I'm
handle
gonna get
some stuff
pissed
for my
even more because
family.
that's just a cop out for no reason. If they did it in like episode 2 or 3, no problem with it.
Oh, they're definitely for them the only reason why they unalived him in the show or in the season is because the original episodes had him dead, and so
Yeah.
they needed to find a way to make the season work with the newer episodes they shot, but still, bringing in the Netflix's canon, but also keeping what they got as well, or at least what they could work with. And so now,
You all see me now, or
yes, then season
Okay.
2. They're definitely bringing him back.
That's gonna make me even more mad because then they just did it for a cheap reaction from us right now.
yeah,
That's even worse.
Well, I feel like they're in a corner. I mean, if you go into the show not explaining why is Foggy not there and Karen's not there, then it would be more of a problem versus showing what happened, which is something that you're trying to get from like Kingpin, where he's been in the last 6 or 5 years and whatnot.
But you know what you do though is that you take an extra 2 months and you rewrite it.
Here's what I need to see. I need to see the Hand or Elektra come into play here because what I clearly saw was Foggy being shot and his heart stopping. Even Matt himself, a literal human lie detector, it just, I guess, heard his friend pass away.
Yeah, that's
And-
my point. Yeah, you're hitting it on the head. He has that power. He can tell the guy's lying, and he knew his last breath. It was in the show.
Well,
Yeah.
but in the MCU, it has been done before where the heart stopped, but they bring him back to life.
With who?
Nick
Besides
Yeah,
Fury.
but
Fury.
you would think that Matt would be able to recognize or hear
There's
his best friend's heartbeat beating again. Like even if he's several miles from the city, who knows? I don't
Wasn't
know.
there a funeral? Am I crazy or was there a funeral?
Yeah,
That was for
a year
the
prior.
that was for the cop that got killed. I can't remember his name. The
I
one
thought there was
where
one right after, or maybe no, it goes 1 year later. My bad.
yeah, because and it was the White Tiger. He fought those two bad
Yeah.
cops, and one of them yeah.
It
But
would be really cool to see Elektra have a role to play in season 2 with maybe Foggy's revival.
the fireworks. In the comics, Daredevil, again, this is why I think they're going the witness protection route. It's because he was listening to the heartbeat. In the comics, there's a story where he was in prison and Foggy was basically getting killed, and he heard his heartbeat stop, and he thought he was dead. But then later on, come to find out, he was basically in witness protection. It's called The Secret Life of Foggy, and
But that
that's what.
destroys the entire stakes of any scene that will ever happen in the MCU if they bring him back. Because then,
Well,
whenever like Falcon or Bucky or I don't know any of the Thunderbolts get hit in the heart, we can always just go, "Well, Foggy came back to life."
I mean, look at
It's
already.
why it's happening with the nanosuit stuff. Not everyone has nanosuit tech because it's easier to do.
I
Yeah, I
It's
think
wouldn't
also what
say
happened in
that
Star Wars
Foggy
with all the
got
med
hit
tech
in
stuff
the
where they can just
heart.
repair limbs at will. In Book of Boba Fett, it's the same thing. That'll destroy the stakes of anything that comes after or before.
Well, then again, we have RDJ coming back as Doctor Doom, so
But the only reason for that is because it's a multiverse thing. So I mean, it's not like it's not like MCU Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Doom from the Fantastic Four movie we're seeing. But I dang, I had a brain fart. What was I gonna say? It was something. Oh yeah, so I think Foggy was more shot in the lungs instead of the heart
It
because
was the heart. It was directly in the heart. If Karen was on his heart,
I could have sworn it was a little bit more by the right side of his chest.
and that also damages Poindexter because Poindexter was always known in season 3 as a perfect shot.
Yeah. If I were Poindexter, though, I would want to make Matt and everybody that he cares about suffer. So I would definitely not go for an instant
well,
shot. I would go for a long, as an agonizing passing.
well,
No,
like
but
I'm
he
saying,
wanted to, kill all of them. I don't know why he didn't kill Karen when he killed. When the two people came out of the diner and he shot both of them in the head or whatever.
Yeah.
Why did he not do anything to Karen? When he
Well,
says
that's
hi,
my
Karen, and
point.
then
because
points to the gun at her.
that's what I'm trying to say is that is not and not everything is what you see is what it seems. That's what I'm saying. There's a reason why he did hit Foggy in a certain way. Can you turn the mic off?
What if
I was still talking. Okay.
what
Um,
if Fisk didn't have a role to play with what happened to Foggy, but instead Vanessa?
what I'm trying to say is that
But Vanessa hates Poindexter from
I
season 3.
know. I'm trying to say is that the opening is not what it seems. Is that he was talking to that person that he was talking to. He was trying to protect. I think it goes deeper into that. Who's the one that freed Bullseye? Why was Bullseye all of a sudden now going after Foggy and Karen and Daredevil Matt? Why all of a sudden he's doing that? Why is he missing shots but making perfect shots? It's because he knows what he's doing and he's shooting them in a certain way. And it's just theorizing. I'm just
But he never
theorizing.
misses when he's hitting the other people, is what I'm saying.
I know that's what I'm saying. It was purposeful. Whatever he's doing or whatever he was paid to do, he did it. But in the long scheme of things, we will know why he did it. We don't know what the actual job was to do.
He shouldn't even be alive. He fell off 5-story roof while being heavily injured and bleeding. I don't know
He
how he's even
has
alive.
he goes off the logic of Kick-Ass. After being injured one time, he got his bones replaced, and now he's indestructible. Classic movie.
Yeah, but this is supposed to be, as they say, grounded in reality. I'm just
Grounded
saying what the
as in the
showrunners said that they wanted the show to be.
Grounded where a man dressed up as a spider can swing around the city. Grounded where aliens can fall out of the sky
No,
on
for
a
the
Tuesday.
Daredevil show. I'm not talking about the MCU. They said that this show was grounded.
Yeah, I know. I was just making a joke there.
Well,
Uh,
grounded could be. I mean, it is the MCU. I mean, it's the same world. It's always been the same world.
exactly. And speaking of Spider-Man, that little call out that gives me hope to a possible Spider-Man versus Fisk movie.
I think so fireworks because they don't really give a confirmation of what they infuse his
Yeah, because you
spine
shouldn't
with.
be walking.
Well,
You
it
sh-
really depends though too. Like, when does Brave New World take place?
Brave New World
It
takes
should
place in 2026.
and shouldn't
And on
it,
the MCU timeline, Daredevil, on the Disney Plus timeline, Daredevil is the farthest one.
It's in 2027. Well, the opening is in 2026, but 1 year later, it's in 2027. It's supposed to be after Christmas.
So if it so basically Bullseye was injured at the end of Daredevil season 3, which took place in 2018. At the end of that show, we saw he was getting the surgery he needed, and at the very end, you could see the little bullseye logo forming in his eye. That I think he managed to make the surgery he was getting in that scene a success, and that wasn't Brave New World. That was something else. Like maybe it was vibranium or some other metal that's popular in Marvel Comics.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because you're saying that the vibranium wasn't introduced until Brave New World, and so it's impossible for him to have the vibranium.
Yeah, Antimanium, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you know.
I also want say that because Captain America 4, terrible movie as it is, also never
love
said
the
that
movie.
adamantium could do anything with limbs. It never said that in the movie. When Harrison Ford was giving his speech, he was talking about like the ideas of it not being used. It was just theories and ideals.
Well, I've always looked at Bullseye as like the Joker for Daredevil, and then every time you think he's unalived, he always somehow comes back.
I've always said that Bullseye is basically the arch nemesis to Daredevil. Like, a lot of people may say it's Fisk, and I can agree, but it's definitely Bullseye for me. But you know who could it be another good antagonist for Daredevil to go up against?
Well,
Hellcat over here.
we got Muse coming. That's gonna
Or
be
at least I think you all see the cat.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think one of those bodies that Muse is messing with is Matt's girlfriend. But
We have 9 episodes of this show. I'm assuming that the next one's probably going to be the end of this little court thing, and I'm assuming that because from the trailer we have that guy with the blood on his little suit. I don't know who that is.
yeah, fireworks. Yeah, she's currently
She's on
in
the
the
raft.
last. Yeah.
Honestly, if we get a Defenders reunion in the future, I hope Hellcat joins the lineup.
Okay, so speaking of going back to like how the show was reshot and everything, I could tell that cop that wasn't now in there was originally supposed to be Jessica Jones' character, because he's a PI working for Matt in his new law firm with whatever her name is, and he's
That's
a
really because
PI.
Matt showed his face to him, and he had to.
Yeah.
I don't even know what these characters are called. He's just PI guy, Matt's black lawyer, Matt's love interest. We don't even know these characters' names. Like that's how
Sorry about the
unmemorable the
dogs
show is
barking
so
in the
far.
background, guys.
What's up? What's going on, Phil?
Like I'll give episode 1 a 3 out of 10. I'll give episode 2 like maybe a 4 out of 10.
I still need to rate it. I managed to write up my review for it right here. Let's see here.
Well, it's interesting hearing your perspective, because because I like hearing both sides of the fence. There's people that liked it, and then there's people that are kind of.
I used to love the MCU. Everything after Infinity War sucks.
After? So are you including Endgame?
Yes, Endgame sucks.
No Way Home?
I know.
Shang-Chi?
Yes, No Way Home has a
Wolverine,
lot of issues.
Guardians of the Galaxy
Bad
Volume
writing.
3?
Want me to explain why No Way Home is bad writing?
I know somebody that would love what's your conversation right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Fry. So the problem I have with No Way Home is that Doctor Strange's spell makes no sense. Because everyone would know who Peter Parker is like 10 seconds after, because it doesn't destroy the books that have his name in it. It doesn't destroy photos. It doesn't destroy J. Jonah Jameson's news broadcasting. So that would never work. It doesn't work. They never explain it.
Wait, hold on. That
Well,
hasn't
If we altered.
Where's Geeky Cast when I meet him?
He says he alters the memories. He doesn't alter like everything on Earth.
But in the No Way Home extended cut in a post-credit scene, it's shown in a little bit more detail that in photos or any other stuff that was used before Peter had to interact with anybody, that he was basically just snipped out of life. Basically, the best way to describe it is like if Doctor Strange had pulled up CapCut and just decided
So basically, when Hermione Granger in Deathly Hallows Part 1 uses Obliviate on her family in the very beginning, that?
Yes.
Well, they didn't put it in the theatrical version, so that's an issue.
I mean, my thing is, Doctor Strange's been doing this in the books all the time. He did it with Sentry. Sentry's whole origin is because of Strange. So, like, I don't know why that's a big deal.
I'm going off. I've never read the comics. I'm just going off.
I highly recommend you do. I highly recommend you do.
If maybe in 2018 I would. Now I just hate it. I don't want to read the crap.
I mean, I think it's great.
The problems I have with Endgame is the time travel makes no sense, and they kind of ruined Thanos.
Oh no, I think out of all of the time travel scenarios I've seen in movies, the easiest for me to figure out is the multiverse theory one that I saw in Endgame. The only thing I could not figure out about the time travel, though, was Steve returning the Infinity Stones and just somehow appearing in the main timeline again as an old man. Like,
Yeah, he gave up. That's another thing I have wrong with Endgame is that Steve gives up. He goes back to get the dance, which I have no problem with. It's a great emotional moment, but
I
it
don't
also
think
ruins
he
his character.
necessarily gave up. I think he just completed his mission.
I mean, but obviously, as we see, he obviously didn't because he's not going to be able to help out with anything that's coming now.
Well,
Well,
there's gonna be multiverse versions too, so
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters. In the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't.
I mean, like,
Well-
God, I really, I mean, MCU's just gone downhill. I don't like.
I mean,
anything.
your
Moon
opinion,
Knight
yeah.
is the only exception, but that's only because
Well, hold on. But in your opinion, yes. But in terms of, like, majority people, that's not true. But
What about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? What do you think about that one? That's like one of the best endings to a MCU trilogy.
I think it was fine. I just don't know why they needed to bring back Gamora. I think it would have been better if they didn't, because obviously that would be great with Peter's character. Obviously in the beginning with being sad and maybe him moving on would have been way better. I mean, like I Guardians of the Galaxy, it was fine. The writing was just fine. I didn't really have any issue with it.
I don't
Whoever
mean
just
to
said
cut
Captain
in.
America: Brave New World was great is a liar. That movie sucked.
so hold on. My thing is, you're looking at this shit as like an actual movie, right? Not like a comic book movie. I think
Yeah, they're movies, aren't they?
well,
Yeah, but they're
but
comic book
hold on.
movie.
The difference is, though, they're not like a Wolf of a Wall Street type of movie. They're theatrical. They're like fantastical. Like they're comic books, right? They're based
Yeah.
off of
I
books.
mean, as long as the writing is consistent and it's good and is in line with the other projects that came before, I have no problem. That's why I like Phase 1, 2, and 3.
No, see, I get that, but my thing is, though, I think you're judging it in a different light than it actually for what it is. It's a comic book movie based off of a book, right? So if they go off of a book, it's really hard to judge something like that if they follow the book or like have a format of it.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah, but this isn't like the Clone Wars where you're hopping back and forth between like time periods. This is a straight line where you're learning the character's developing. So going off course, veering off course, obviously, because I mean, even if it happened in the comics, is obviously wrong from a storytelling standpoint.
Well, it's a grand storytelling, right? They do that.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. You're
Hold
saying
on.
that each movie is moving on to the next timeline, like it's just moving the timeline, and like
No, I was giving the
Infinity
example
Saga.
like it's okay for like in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the animated show, how they go back between like different time periods, like different like times, like they're going back and forth and back and forth. I have no problem with that in terms of characterization because it means that the characters have to stay basically the same. The problem I have is that when you when you start ruining characters, like for example, let me think of someone on the top of my head, like Captain America, for example, like ruining his character or ruining. I can just think of some off the top of my head, but like obviously Captain America is a great example.
Well, that's cool, and but like I want to have more people on this live stream, and I want to keep it more on Daredevil rest.
You're good. We can go back to Daredevil.
Sorry.
But,
My bad. How do you think
I'm
this
sorry.
is
I
going to
just want to
play?
keep it on top.
Yeah, you're good. We can go back to Daredevil.
How do you think this is going to play into Daredevil Born and not? I mean, how do you think this show is going to play into Avengers Doomsday?
Nothing at all.
I think it does. Supposedly, so Daredevil ends right before Thunderbolt starts. So what I'm assuming is Bucky's going to show up at the tail end of it. Excuse me. And the Thunderbolts, what I'm assuming is they're going to be the new Avengers, or the Dark Avengers like we saw in the books, and Sam's going to lead the team. And what I think is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday, an incursion is going to happen where Deadpool's universe, which is the X-Men verse, are going to encourage, or 838 from Multiverse of Madness, come into 616 MCU, and then they're going to fight it out. But at
Well,
that
they already
point,
set this up. It's going to be the TVA that takes them all. They set that up in Daredevil.
it's not going to be the TVA.
No, sorry,
It's gonna be
Deadpool.
Doom. It's going to be Doom. Because what's going to happen, the TVA, they're just a time police, right? They don't, like, they're not going to go in there and fuck shit up if it's not broken. So, if anything, Doom is going to be the one causing these incursions. But like I said, I think this Thunderbolts team, or Daredevil is going to lead in his Thunderbolts, and because of Bucky, and then that's going to lead into the new Avengers team, which that will lead into Doomsday, which I believe Deadpool's universe, because we already saw a glimpse of it in Deadpool Wolverine, is going to go into 616, and they're going to fight it out. And when they fight it out, that's when Doctor Doom is going to be like God Emperor Doom, like we saw the leaks, and that will lead into Secret Wars.
But what is Daredevil going to do against Doctor Doom?
No, he won't. I'm just saying Bucky will show up in Daredevil, which he probably will talk about, like, maybe he'll talk to Fisk about the Avengers.
Yeah, that is a good point, because if
He's a congressman, right? He's a congressman now.
No, he's he's a senator. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so, and so I think that's going to lead into, excuse me, to Thunderbolts, which I believe that'll lead into the new Avengers squad, or some form of it.
So if Fisk is setting up this new law to take out vigilantes, I wonder how is that going to play into the role of official superheroes like Captain America?
So how it works basically, at least in the books, basically like characters like Spider-Man, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, like those characters, they can't be. But Avengers are different because Avengers are like a global team.
They're also run by the government slightly. Like Captain America obviously works for the government, and like other characters do as well.
Yeah, but not in the books entirely, but technically in the MCU, yes.
Like Doctor Strange can walk around New York. Like I'm pretty sure they wouldn't arrest him.
I mean, no, they're not gonna. They don't know.
Yeah, he does have literal godlike powers. I would avoid him too.
Yeah, I don't think Bucky will show up in Born Again.
I really don't think it's going to be any cameos.
I mean, it'd be really hard for me not to see Bucky to show up.
I'd bet you $1,000 right now that he's not going to show up.
I am hearing there is.
Something I'm not 100% sure on.
I am hearing there is like a certain cameo that does show up, but I don't think it's Bucky. So I'm not going to say.
Probably going to be Elektra or.
I'm not saying who, but I have my sources. I'm telling you, there's going to be a certain cameo in this show.
Give us a hint.
I'm not saying. I'm not spoiling it.
What does it start with? What's the first letter of the name?
I'm not doing that. I don't want Disney on my ass.
I wonder though. I'm wondering why.
Hey guys, Disney... I'll be right back. I gotta get going. My mom is warning me. I'm sorry.
I'm wondering why Disney decided to cut the show in half like they did and release it next year, though. Because they should have just waited like 2 months.
I like that because before I heard the episodes were going to be like She-Hulk, like 20-minute episodes, and I would have been pissed.
Well, you could tell the first episode's only supposed to be like 30 minutes. You could tell it cuts halfway.
I can tell like there's certain moments in the especially in episode 2 where you can tell some of the scenes were initially for the original version of the show, but then they kind of like changed it in a way where it fits the new the Netflix canon thing now.
I think everything. I think the scene with Vanessa and Fisk was an add-on.
Yeah, well, pretty much I think that's how they did it. Is they took whatever that worked for the new vision of Born Again and reshot everything to make it all connect. That's how you get the first episode. Apparently, episode 8 and 9 is the newer episodes as well, and the ones in between are the whatever was.
They have to explain how why Fisk even wants to be mayor. They haven't really explained that.
Well, he's a narcissist, to be honest with you. If you give him the keys to be a president,
I thought that the debates. I thought they could have done a lot of things with him as an arc, becoming the mayor, and you could talk about something like him in a debate, and someone starts pressing him on his criminal empire, and he can talk about how he changed or why he changed. That'd be a great way for writing to get that out there. I just think I
Originally,
skipped a lot.
Originally, I thought it was going to be that Born Again season 1 was going to be his rise into the as a manor,
Yeah, that's exactly what I
and
thought.
then season 2 was going to be the play out of that, like Devil's Reign, if you will.
At this point, what I think season 2 is going to be about is probably Devil's Reign, and then
Yes.
if they do season 3, like hypothetically, it'll probably be that the second volume of Chip Zdarsky's run where Matt goes to hell and shit, and then he's the leader of the Hand with Elektra and Styx and shit. That's what I can see happening, possibly.
Maybe you guys are more into comics than I am. What is the magical amulet for White Tiger? Like, who is it?
Okay, I'm back. Can you all
That I
see
don't
and
know. I
hear
don't
me?
read White Tiger, so I couldn't tell you.
Yes.
Yeah. What does White Tiger do?
So I was thinking,
White
what
Tiger.
if?
Like,
Sorry.
what is the? I'm gonna look this up. What is the magical amulet for White Tiger? I'm gonna look this up real quick.
So I
It's
know
like,
this is a long shot, but what if at the end of season 2 of Born Again, we get a teaser for a theatrical Daredevil movie?
Bro, I just want Daredevil to I want to team up television show, kind of like Daredevil and Echo or something like that. That's what I kind of want. Like, I want Daredevil to start teaming up with people as a TV show. That'd be cool.
I hope we see
Daredevil and
nothing more of
Friends?
Echo. I hope we never see an Echo again.
Echo's cool. I just don't think she's good enough to be in her own run. But when she teams up with Daredevil, almost like a Robin-esque character, she's pretty dope.
I have
She's
played
good as like a
mixed feelings on
pawn.
Echo.
She's good as like an ancillary villain, like she had in Hawkeye. She was okay then.
I mean,
I have no knowledge to
I like
Echo
her.
as a character, and when I saw her in Hawkeye, I was liking the concept. She reminded me a lot of Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. Like, she had prosthetics and used that as her main weapon. But when I saw that she had powers, that kind of turned me off a little bit to the show. I still don't even understand her powers. Like, God.
I'm really
Like-
interested in seeing what season 2 is going to play out, because if Kingston continues his reign of trying to take care of all the vigilantes and get them out of New York and put a stop to it, then that could lead to other. Because, like, for instance, if Luke Cage is still running, being the quote unquote kingpin of Harlem while running Harlem's Paradise, then that has to affect him because he's a vigilante doing his thing. And then you have Punisher, which I think Punisher's interesting. I want to see where they go with him. And then there's Jessica Jones. We don't know where she's at. Iron Fist, I don't know either. But there's other characters like
Jessica Jones is in therapy.
Well,
Do you
there's
think
Kate
that Disney's
Bishop.
capable of making if rooftop scene like in season 2, episode 3 of Daredevil, where they're talking about morality? Do you think Disney has the balls to do that with the Punisher again, or with any character?
Oh,
Yeah.
like a rematch.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like when Daredevil and Punisher were having that whole?
Yes, when they're talking about morality.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they kind of teased it in one of the teaser ads where him and Matt were having a conversation because Matt was trying to talk to Punisher, and Punisher's like, "You just want my permission to cross that line and all that." I think we're about to get that again, that locker room, whatever it is.
No, to be in the gym with his dad's gym. That's
Yeah.
his dad's gym.
Yeah, I think that's where we're going to probably get that at again. Hopefully.
I'm gonna head out, but I'm gonna rewatch this with my boy in like 3 hours. But I don't know. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I gave episode 2 a 4 out of 4. Sorry, a 3 out of 10, and the other one's a 4 out of 10. But I mean, if it gets better, then I'll be happy. But like, I don't know, man. This isn't like the same.
I get that. Well, appreciate your
You
comment.
and I
Yeah,
have
I'll
different
agree with that.
tastes, man. You have a good one.
Bro, I just got this in the mail. I got New 52 Animal Man by Jeff Lemire.
Yeah, so that was pretty dope.
Animal.
No.
That guy's DC,
So I got
right?
that. That was Grant Morrison. I just got this today, right now.
Mm.
This is my other birthday present.
I remember the DC Nation shorts of that character. That was funny.
I think they were slowly about to do that for the CW, but then they kind of went nowhere with it.
What, Animal Man?
Yeah, they kind of set it up after Crisis, and they went nowhere with it because CW went downhill after that.
Wait,
Yeah.
so who owns CW? Themselves or Warner Brothers?
I think they're owned by somebody else now. I think Star something, some Star company.
Okay. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Daredevil, episode 1 and 2, I would give it like an 8.9 to 9.1 around there. I thought
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it around probably an A plus, so solid 9.6.
I
Yeah.
give it an
As
8.
far as
Well-
rating goes, I'm gonna throw this out there real quick. I've got some thoughts on one of the best job. Episode 1, I feel the cinematography in it was impeccable. I really loved it. It was enthralling. It captured you. It held you. I think Charlie Cox has always done a good job being able to portray his emotions. However, when Foggy died, I felt that it died. I felt that shit. I felt it, and
yeah.
I
My
think
mom
episode
cried.
1.
I cried.
Like-
We just
like-
got back. I love the character.
Rating wise, episode 1 was definitely like an 8 out of 10 for me. Episode 2 was a little bit more difficult to follow, but I enjoyed how they traversed the information that we need to know for the story to continue. When it comes to Wilson Fisk, he's a creepy motherfucker. Like he's always been unnerving, but for some reason in that episode, it's like I empathized with him for a moment, and I'm like, hold up, remember who he is. And to me, that makes him scary. That makes him a damn good villain. So
Honestly,
I'm
yeah, that
excited
is
to
the
see what
one
that's
thing
gonna
why I
happen.
love about Fisk this season. Like, I know Fisk is a terrible person. He took over the freaking FBI in season 3, and ever since I heard the stories of him running for mayor, I was like, who the heck is gonna vote for this guy? It's common knowledge he took over the FBI. He is a crook and mob boss. Like, doesn't anybody know this? But when I see him in the first 2 episodes, I'm like, dang, he's actually pretty charming. He's actually talking to these construction workers who aren't doing their jobs. Like, hey, I am the law, right? Like, do this so everybody can get on with their day. That's charming. And I just kind of remind myself, he's the kingpin. He is literally a kingpin, dude. Just don't fall for it.
Well, to
Well,
be
you know
fair,
what's annoying? I've literally seen like 3 creators and like multiple like people commenting that they're not gonna watch the show anymore because of Foggy, and I'm like, it's so mind blowing to me that they will not let it play out, and then we tell them like, hey, it happened in the book. They're like, I'm not gonna go read it. Fuck that. I mean, then you're just being ignorant. Like, shut up.
well, I think even
Well,
if
there's
not,
also there's other shows that were like that too, like fucking Game of Thrones and Walking Dead. Walking Dead's the biggest one. 9 times out of 10, when I talk to somebody, hey, how'd you enjoy The Walking Dead? Oh, I stopped watching after so and so died, or if Daryl died, I would stop watching. It's like I
It's a
enjoy
lot
writing.
like yeah, it's a lot like how
he was
people
Frog Guy, he was
are
killed.
on the anime Vinland Saga. Like, everybody claims that the best season was season 1 because Thorfinn was trying to fight. He was getting his revenge. The fights were amazing, but in season 2, there were barely any fights. It was mainly character driven, and season 2 is my personal favorite season because of the character writing. And people just don't understand that character writing can be more important than fights.
I think if you have a strong, compelling story and you follow the very basic rubric of what a story looks like, you can keep people enraptured in that story without action. Like
Yeah.
action with a show like Daredevil, absolutely, duh, you're gonna have action, but I would say don't go into it thinking that that's all it's going to be. Is it great? Yes, but story-wise, as fans, dare I say, that's what keeps us in, so that we can talk about it, debate, prompt thinking, rather than just be like, oh, did you see Daredevil kick the shit out of somebody? There has to be story-driven episodes. It can't all be one big clash. And I think it also helps to add to something, have something to look forward to.
I think Jessica Jones is another good example of that. That show did a pretty good job on blending the action and the character writing together, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Phil.
Bro, I'm actually, dude, every day when I see people comment and yap, not you guys, just other people. I'm gonna start lowering my in-game rating day by day. I think that movie has really fried our dopamine in our brains.
Oh, it definitely did. It did.
I like everyone expects now that all this crazy shit, and the only thing I'll say about MCU, which I'm kind of pissed about, but it's not even that big of a gripe, is I need people to actually start like characters interact with each other more. Um, and I think they're finally doing it now after the Sam thing, the Sam movie, and Daredevil. So we'll see. But I
I
just
think
need
we're gonna get that heavy in Thunderbolts. Yeah.
Something I really hope that this movie could set up is Shang-Chi 3. Because I know Shang-Chi 2 hasn't even happened yet, but I've been saying for the longest time now that Shang-Chi 2 needs to be called Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Immortal Iron Fist, where it brings back the Iron Fist from the Netflix series, and at the end of that movie, we'd see Danny being kidnapped by Luke's goons, and the two are just kind of vibing with each other, catching up, and Luke's like, hey, we need to get the band back together. The hand may be back. And Danny's like, hey, can I invite a friend? I think it'd be pretty awesome to see the Defenders forming it together again and have some new recruits like Shang-Chi, Punisher, and Hellcat.
Do you know what I need? I need the actual real Defenders team from like the 1970s. That's what I need.
Doctor Strange and Hulk.
I've always said that I feel like that the Defenders in the MCU should be completely unique on their own. There should be no members of the original comic team in this lineup.
What?
Which Defenders team talking about? The Street Tier one?
I'm talking about the Netflix version.
Oh, okay.
Like Falcon, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, those were members of the Defenders, right? I don't want to see those guys being members of the Defenders because I feel like, one, they're way too OP, but two, I just don't really see them working well on a street level performance. The Defenders should be on a street level performing team, you know?
Yeah, no, I get you. I mean, usually the old Defenders teams, they usually fought characters like the Mamu and shit. That's when it was like cool as hell. Because it was just pretty much a band of team or band of members that like on their own weren't good, but then when they came together, they were cool. Kind of like Avengers a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what the thing was back in the day with the Defenders. It was more of like a unique, kind of like what Fry was saying, like a unique team, but like characters that you've been wanting to see team up together, and they put them together. Unlike the Avengers, where it was kind of just the mainstream team members, but then you had Defenders, and then eventually had Midnight Suns and stuff like that, and all that other stuff.
Dude, it's crazy though, like how much I love the Daredevil episodes, and like there's just some people are just talking so much shit, bro. And
Sorry, just got some major news. We got the release date to the new Demon Slayer movie, September 12th. I am there.
Yeah.
Yo. That's gonna be so awesome.
What were you saying, Phil?
Sorry.
No, you're good. It just amazes me how much people like the actual casual fan base audience are loving it, but then you go to like social media and like people are just talking shit. And I think they're doing it because like you know how it's normal now and it's cool to like hate on Disney and shit.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So they just do it to fuck around.
I haven't seen I've seen a couple comments here and there, but the majority I've seen nothing but like positivity, more than honestly that I was even planning on saying, to be honest with you. Like, but people like Marvelous Mark and stuff like that. Like I'm like, yeah, that was a given.
Well, on X, people have talked shit, and then I had to get involved to like like the audience score is like 95% right now.
Yeah.
Like I tell them that, and I don't know if they realize that like you are legit like a small portion of people who don't like the show. So reality, by hearing that, if I see that, I'm an open-minded person, so when I see that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe my taste is shit. Because that's drastic. If it was like 70%, maybe, but the audience score are giving it like a 9.2, 9.4 around there out of 10, which is
Yeah,
so like that
I
means that like majority of people are enjoying it, like a high, like it's not even close.
I think I heard it surpassed Daredevil season 2.
The critic score did. The audience score, I don't think so, because every season, each one gave it like a 95 and above. I think, if I remember, I can go to it, but
Maybe I read that post wrong.
no, you read it right. It was for the critic score, not the audience.
Uh,
The critic score is up by 3% more than season 2 is.
yeah, if I had to rank how I'm enjoying this show so far, well, first you should know my ranking of the Daredevil series. It goes from worst to best, season 2, season 1, season 3. But if I'm to add this to that list, I put this in between season 1 and season 3.
I mean, I can't. My thing is, I can't really do that until the show is done. Like,
Yeah, I know. I'm just putting it up there as like mainly for its potential because I'm seeing a whole lot of potential on how great this series can be for its character storytelling, but also just because I'm already really invested on what we're gonna see in the future of this show. The fact that they already unalive Foggy Man is shows that they have guts.
my thing is with this show and the future of the show. I completely forgot what I was going to say. Crap. It was gosh, I can't remember. Yeah. Okay, so back to Phil, what you were saying about the negative comments. I have seen people that have said that, and I can tell when people have only like recently watched the OG show because if you're a true fan of the OG show, like watched it when it actually came out, you know for a fact we were spoiled because we had those seasons drop complete the full series, like full season, like we got to watch the whole show, so we got to see the entirety of season one, and if you could in one day, but you could watch the whole season. And then you have people that just recently watched the show, and then they're comparing it to Daredevil Born Again, which we only have had 2 episodes, and then they're saying it's automatically not as good as the last 3 seasons. But I'm like, we haven't even completed this season of Born Again.
Well,
Like,
I'm starting to think like they stopped really doing this. So I think Netflix is the only one that does this, but um, I don't know if I like an episode every week. Personally, I don't like it. I feel like I should be able to binge watch something, and it's my authority to do it if I want to watch it all or not. And usually companies will release it once a week to drag it out so people can talk about it and get ratings. But as a fan, it'd be really cool for them just all release at once, kind of like Stranger Things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it works for some shows and works for different for others. Like, I
Yeah,
like how they did. I like how they handled like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I think
Yeah, I mean, if there's cliffhangers, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because then everyone's talking about it for like a whole fucking week, right?
yeah, I think they should release it in batches with multiple episodes. Like that one animated show that released on Max. What was it called? Love Hair, maybe?
I tell
Uh,
you one show that suffered from that is Kite Man, the spinoff from Harley
oh,
Quinn.
yeah.
That suffered
I
horrible.
mean, hell no. I love Kite Man.
I love it too, but like they only dropped like I think it was 2 episodes the premiere, and then like the rest of the season it was like 1 episode a week, and like it wasn't like other shows that do like a clip, like Phil was saying, like a cliffhanger, which wants you to get back into the next episode. They completely was just like, I don't know, it just didn't fit the whole like release every week thing.
Young Love, that was the show.
You know?
Recommend it. I found it to be pretty sweet. I actually saw a sneak peek to it at San Diego Comic Con 2023. Pretty, yeah, decent show. Um, Yeah, so I think I'm gonna get going because I need to do some more discussions like this information about Demon Slayer, the news about the Adam Sandler movie, Happy Gilmore 2,
That's good.
information about Foggy and Karen coming back for season 2, which is most likely gonna be flashbacks, but who knows?
Yeah, well, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Yeah,
Peace.
Bye.
I'm too nice.
Yeah. I mean, that one guy was on here is like, dude, the writing sucks. I'm like, okay, he's looking at it from like a movie perspective, not like a comic book story.
Yeah,
And that is the issue. Is that I think we have to treat these movies differently. And if you don't, then I feel like you should just stop watching it. Then, if you know what I mean? It's like they want to treat these movies. I don't know, bro. I feel like they want to treat these movies like I don't know how to explain it. It sucks because I watch this shit. I'm just like, yo, they're telling comic book stories. Okay, they might do this, and if they do this, they might do that. I like that shit.
yeah. I just think I think I've sorry, I've had a run in with him before. He's one of those like Marvel smart people where they're kind of edgy with like they like to say things. 'Cause it just sounded like a bunch of what he was saying was kind of recurred like said before. Like I had some
They're sheep. They're sheep. Then is what you're saying.
yeah. I had someone else in here earlier saying like kind of kept saying the show was ass. The show was ass. I'm like, well, can you come on here and tell me why it was ass? And then they'll be like, well, the CGI is bad. Okay, can you tell me why? What else more do you can tell me? Then they just cut it off there and deflect it most of the time. And it's like,
I
you,
mean, bro, what CGI was bad? Him on the rooftop? Like, did he not think like Daredevil cannot do that?
yeah. Well, yeah. Like I thought the CGI was fine. Like I don't think it. People. I think ever since She-Hulk, or honestly, I think it was farther back than because then they complain about CGI and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Bro, I don't know. I at that point, bro.
Hey, Mac Anthony, if you want to join, let me. What's your age? 'Cause I don't want to have any, you know, kids on here. TikTok don't like that. Pause. But yeah, man.
I don't even see the comment section. Like, it's just laggy.
Is it my live stream laggy?
No, I mean the comments are. It's probably just for me, bro.
Hey, can y'all, everyone in the live stream, comment so I can see if it works for me?
I want to put something.
We are having rain really bad out here.
Did you see that when I put?
Yeah, I see that. The
Okay.
dots.
Yeah, I was making sure. But no, it's like the whole like Zack Snyder and the DC thing. Like all
Don't
the
get
ones
started. Don't get me
all the ones-
started.
Wait, what?
Don't get me started with the Snyder crap.
Oh yeah. And, well, here's the thing. What I will say, like, I don't really agree with the Snyder fans, because it just wasn't well written. But what I will say is that their cult following is a lot better than the generic DC fandom because they were so loud and they never stopped to the point where they literally got the Snyder cut on HBO. You'll never see that for, the comic book side. They'll just let shit happen. They'll let books just get canceled. Ongoings only be limited. Like they will not fight back. And
So go ahead. Sorry.
that's the one thing I'll give credit to the Snyder fans is if they want something, they're gonna fight tooth and nail to get it. And I respect it. Like I think the DC fandom needs to start acting that way a little bit. Not like mean in a way. They just need to actually fight back. Like you need to the cancellation of Wonder Woman game, like I should not be the one to bitch and complain about this shit when like I prefer Marvel over DC. Like I read DC, but it's like the fact that game that we can't even get like a hashtag restore the Wonder Woman game going. It's fucking.
I look at it this way: like the Snyderverse, the Snyder Bros, preferably. Yeah, the Snyder people. There are good. Okay, there are good people, but the problem is the Snyder people, Snyder cult, if you will. They can be very extremely toxic.
Oh
If
yeah,
if
I'm
you
not
compare,
I said that. I'm like,
oh no, yeah, but I'm saying like if you look at like Daredevil Born Again, Daredevil Save Daredevil, like I wish they got more praise from the cast and the people that, because I feel like if it wasn't for Save Daredevil, Daredevil Born Again, or even Daredevil Charlie Cox coming back to play Daredevil would have never happened. I feel like if it wasn't for that movement, and they weren't toxic. Yeah, there were some like once in a while dumbasses, but it was always peaceful, quiet. They just wanted to get their show back and the characters and the actors back. Compared to Snyderverse, where they're going after people, they're actually review bombing other Warner Brother movies. Like I remember the King Kong versus Godzilla movie when that came out. That when they review bombed that movie, so the Zack Snyder film could do well on HBO Max at the time.
yeah, see, like that type of shit. I get that. Like I don't agree with that. But
And
what I will
then they
say,
threaten people.
what I will say is that if there was another Snyderverse movie in the DC fandom, you best believe all the fans are gonna go see it. There's no skeptical. They don't care. They're gonna go put their money into it.
Who's Snyder?
Yeah, well, the Snyder fans, right?
Well, only for Snyder stuff though, because like,
Oh yeah,
that's
that's what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
Is that I wish the DC fandom as a whole will all go out and support a movie. Like, there's so many people, like, and Simon Snyder fans particularly. There's people that like will not go see Superman because they don't give a fuck, and it's like, do you not understand if this movie flops financially? It's over. It's over. And like, and I'm stressed at the people as like a guy who actually like reads almost every DC book going on. And I prefer Marvel, and I shouldn't be the advocate to do that. You don't see content creators like DC content creators doing that, like putting stress on like, hey, we need to get this movie to like 800 million, like we have to. There's no like,
there is good people. Sorry, go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
no, you're good, and it's like what people don't understand. Your subjective opinion on a movie is like it doesn't mean shit if it flops, right? Like it needs, like the Superman movie could be like average, but if it makes 800 million, we're good. Like we're gonna get a whole universe now.
Yo, Funko, I'm telling you, man. I hope to God Superman does so well because I
hope
can't.
it does well, too. I'm
gonna tell you right now, I've pissed off a lot of Snyder people, and there's always been this conversation because this is the big thing now. Like they're comparing. Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World. There's even people saying Jurassic World is going to dominate both films, which I think it's going to do well like it did for the last of the three, but I don't think it's going to do Superman or Fantastic Four numbers personally. But like it's this competition, and everyone's saying Superman's going to flop or just shit on the movie completely. And I'm like, I really want this movie to do well. At least do better than Jurassic World.
Well, no, what I would say about that though, I think I understand why James Gunn did it because I think it was his father passed away that date. But yes. I do wish they selected a different date to release the film so that it has no other movie to compete with.
Well, that's the thing. And Funko, like, here's the thing. Like, even if you can have the movie get 90% on critics and audience score, you can have the movie make almost 800 million to even $1 billion if we're being risky here. The Snyder Bros are still going to trash on it, regardless of how much the film is successful. They're going to hate on it regardless. There's certain creators, I'm not mentioning names, I know for a fact, they will even personally feel the movie is great, but they will never admit that because all the rambling they do online against that film, they can't admit it. They couldn't. So I'm not surprised. Like I'm not holding my breath for those Snyder cultists to really give it praise because they're not. Because they thrive off being toxic Snyder Bros. I don't want to even call it toxic DC fans. They're just Snyder Bros. And to your point, Phil, yeah, there's people out there that I know are great DC fans. I love DC more than Marvel, but like the Snyder people are just so more vocal and more toxic. It's hard to hear.
Yeah, well, I think what I'm trying to say is that the vocalness that the Snyder fans do, not their actions, the vocalness itself. I feel like a lot of the DC fandom needs to start speaking up and talk about how Warner Brothers has literally it's like trashing the DC property in general.
Yeah. Not
even DC, Warner Brothers is like that is the issue here, right? It's Warner Bros. Company.
Yeah,
that's good. I mean, you should always make Like for me, I try to get people to go buy. Literally, I made 3 videos and I purchased 10 copies of Satana Issue 1 because I want that book to be ongoing. And I made 3 videos, posted on all my platforms multiple times to get people involved into the book. Even if they never read Satana or whatever, but if it sells well, guess what? It won't be a 6-issue limited series. And now the chart just came out. It was number 12 in the top 50 of comic book sales. Not saying I did anything, but like that's the type of shit I like to see.
I think honestly, when it comes down to it, I think if DC can get their cards right with Superman and the rest of the stuff they have on slate, then they could really dominate. Where Marvel right now is not that. They're dominating now, but DC has such potential to outdo that. Where versus Marvel, I think where they can excel in after Secret Wars is more of the X-Men stuff. Because like when like Deadpool and Wolverine, like it felt like Marvel again when Deadpool and Wolverine was coming out. Like it truly felt like the old days with Marvel.
So the thing is, the difference is, I think it's not even like a movie thing. I think it's also like in general, the casual audience doesn't know like 60% of the DC characters. I would maybe 70%. Outside of the Justice League, like people don't know Tornado, Tornado. Tornado, I forgot his fucking name. And then or like Animal Man, Booster Gold. They don't read their characters in general, and the casual audience, there's never really been a live action adaptation that a lot of people have watched. Like, you know what I mean? Like, who?
Oh yeah.
Do you think someone, if you go down the street and be like, "Do you know who Deadpool is?" They'll say yes. Granted, there's not been a movie. That's fair, but like, there has to be a build up for people to go see that film. Like, but if you go ask someone, "Do you know who Red Tornado is?" No, I don't know, and it sucks.
Dude, if Teen Titans, bro. If they just did it right with the movie Teen Titans, it would. I mean, it's already a pop culture famous group for DC. Like besides Justice League, Teen Titans, I feel like it's the only one that's doing great.
I would say Teen Titans is probably more popular at the moment, at the moment, than Green Lantern.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, seriously, like it sucks. And Green Lantern's like probably my second favorite hero in DC.
Oh, I love the Lantern Corps. I love the whole lore behind it. I wish they would do more DC stuff with that.
Bro, dude, give me Larfleeze, bro.
Yes,
That's what I want. That's literally why. That's why I push this shit. Because I'm like, if Superman does well, then people go see the next like DC film or whatever, and it gives Warner Bros. An executive order. Like, okay, maybe we should start pushing out the characters now. It gives them that idea, but it won't if it flops. If it flops, it's like okay, back to Batman. And then we're gonna get something in the way for about 50 years.
Yeah, Silver Age. Yeah, I always wanted to have the Green Arrow and his name escapes me right now. The main guy, the Green Lantern, the first one. You remember that run they had back in the day with
Alan
Green
Scott.
Yeah, I think that.
I'm not a big fan of Alan Scott. I'm a bit like Hal Jordan's probably my favorite Green Lantern. And then it probably goes Kilowog or John.
I love John. John's my favorite.
And then it probably goes after that. I do like Jessica Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I like Guy or Kyle more. I probably like Guy a little bit more, Guy Gardner. I'm not a big fan of Kyle. I know a lot of people are. I'm not.
Kyle's the black sheep of the green.
I don't know. I don't know what it is, bro. I think it's like how it is with Ghost Rider. Like not a lot of people like Danny Ketch, right? So
yeah,
he's my favorite. But
I think we're probably gonna get more of like what DC felt like for the Bruce Timm universe for the movies. To be honest with you, I think that's where they're heading at, and a little bit of 52 as well. I mean, it's pretty heavy influence of 52 with the Superman stuff so far.
You know what I'm surprised about, though? I'm very surprised Marvel agreed to do a crossover with DC.
Oh, man. King Lion's going to have a field day with that shit.
Well, my thing is, I was talking to people, it's like, in terms of, like, financial status, like, Marvel doesn't have to agree to that. Marvel could be like, you know, DC, like, I guarantee DC probably offered them first. 100%.
Bad. Sorry.
There you go. Do you know what I said?
What'd you say? I didn't catch that part.
I was saying the DC and Marvel crossover, I'm very surprised Marvel said yes on it.
On the Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, like I thought personally, because like I don't, there's no evidence to this, but I have a gut feeling not Marvel, DC are probably the ones that asked Marvel like, hey, would you want to do a crossover? Because like at the moment, DC would need the more exposure than Marvel would, because Marvel's already there. Like they don't, in terms of sales, they don't really need it. So like I can really see Marvel being like, no, fuck off. The only way I can see Marvel saying yes on it is if the actual fights or the stories itself, I feel like it might be more Marvel driven than DC.
Well, if you look at TikTok, I mean, they kind of that's probably why they're doing it, because they look at TikTok and see how.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, probably. But here's the thing: like they're gonna split the sales. Like it's almost like the Sony thing, right? That's why I'm like Marvel, like Disney would not do it unless they can get a lot more profits. So
is it going to be canon?
What?
Is it going to be canon?
No, I don't think so. Well, it'd be canon in the terms of the multiverse, but not like 616. No.
Okay, because
Maybe 616 Gwen might show up, like the actual 616 version. But no, I don't think it's canon. It'd be like the Godzilla crossover, or like the Ultraman,
yeah.
or the Predator, the Alien versus Wolverine bullshit. It's weird though, because you might think it's canon because of like if they do an origin, like a page panel origin, it'd be page for page, bar for bar, the same origin, but it's not 616. Because Marvel, what they do on Marvel compared to DC is that Marvel will do, like if it's on a different Earth, they will tell you it's a different Earth. Unless if they don't, for the most part, like 98% of the time, it's 616.
Yeah.
They should do the Absolute Verse versus Ultimate Verse. Bro, I'm like the only person that doesn't enjoy both those universes. I read them as a content creator because I kind of have to, but in general, I do not like reading those. I just don't. I'm not a big fan of Ultimate Universes.
I've been picky. I've been really heavy on Wonder Woman, Absolute, and Batman, and Spider-Man, Ultimate.
I mean, Wonder Woman's good because I think that's how the main universe Wonder Woman should be, but
Yeah, Wonder Woman's a badass in that. I have to say it. I've never. I mean, I've always been a fan, just a regular casual fan of Wonder Woman, but reading Absolute Wonder Woman has got me hooked into her a bit. And same for Absolute Batman. I love what they're doing with that and Ultimate Spider-Man and Ultimate Wolverine so far.
Well, the reason why I don't like the Ultimate or the Absolute Universe is that even in the Ultimate Universe, it's ending soon. We already know it's going to end soon, like within like a year.
That's the thing that sucks about it, though. Like
that's why like there's no point in reading it, because it's like they're gonna have a big event, kind of like Secret Wars. It's gone, and all that shit you read is fucking pointless.
So, are they gonna? What's your theory? Are they gonna pull the old 2015 Secret Wars thing, where they combine?
I don't think so. It was in Did you read Timeless?
Yeah.
It's in Timeless. There's like a rock. I forgot where it's been like a couple months since I read it. But basically, like it showed like the end of the Ultimate Universe and shit. I mean, they're already like kind of showing it with Absolute Universe will go for years, but it's not. But what I'm saying is it's not going to last 10 years. Yeah. That type of shit won't last anymore. Right when the sales dip at all, they're pulling the plug.
Yeah.
Like if I'm like DC right now, they're like probably running longer than the Ultimate Universe in terms of sales because it's selling a lot better than the main universe. Right now, there's in the top 10. Besides this month, I haven't checked this month, but before January, every single main title DC book was not in the top 10. It was all Absolute Universe. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is that when you rely on Ultimate Universe, eventually either the main universe has got to die out, or you got to just, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Well, compared to Ultimate, who like all the runs for Ultimate right now, who has
not making good? I never said that. Wait, what?
Out of all the who's making the most right now for Ultimate, like in the runs?
Definitely Spider-Man. But the difference is from Marvel and DC is that Marvel, they have like 4 to 5 books, but then like in the top 10, maybe sometimes even 6, but like 3 or 4 of them are main universe titles.
Yeah,
that's good. Like the fact that Batman is not in the top 10 is bad. Like it should never, ever, ever not be in the top 10, unless the book is that trash. Right, and I understand sales don't mean like in terms of like subjective opinion on the book, but when a book doesn't sell well, they end it, or they, companies got to sell shit. They got to make money. It's a business, right? So
That's
it
why
does.
we'll never change Amazing Spider-Man because that shit.
Like in my opinion, I actually prefer the stuff going on in DC books right now over Marvel, but Marvel's selling a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah.
I
I've been
like
reading more
Fire.
DC.
Fantastic Four is good. Um, the stuff with Carnage, I'm liking. Hulk is great. Mortal Thor is amazing. I love all that shit. But what I like about DC right now is it's not a reboot specifically. It's just I think right now DC's got the best writer in DC like right now. We got good writers right now on, and it's a good matchup for the characters. So like Dan Waters on Nightwing, Josh Williamson on Superman, Jeff Johns on Aquaman and Green Lantern, and stuff like that. However, for Marvel, it's like I feel like some writers should not be on that specific book. Not saying they're bad writers, but they're just not matching well with the vibe of the character.
Oh, speaking of Aquaman, I've been loving what they've been doing with Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. It's like DC's doing a good job over there. You know what's crazy too? Issue 1 was not even in the top 20, and that's why I get pissed because it's like the book's good. Why? There's something that the casual fan base or like comic book fans they just don't care for the character. There's something going on.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think if once Superman the movie does well and DC starts to make like they're really doing great in the movie side of things, do you think the comic books will rise?
Yes, I would say yes. Like, look at Marvel Rivals. Like, my comic book shops now, I told them, I'm like, yo, you need to start playing Jet the Land Shark, like, whole section. And they've been seeing it up, taking their sales, which is good. I don't know who's writing Ivy. Right? Bro, whoever's writing Ivy needs to get fired. They literally, listen, they literally have not been in the top 50 in sales in, like, 3 years. That is terrible. I don't know how you have a job still.
I've fallen off of that run so fast.
No offense to the people who like it, but I'm just saying, like, that book does not sell.
I tried keeping up with it, but then I just kind of fell off after a while.
That's like the same thing with like Tom King on Wonder Woman. I don't think he should be working at DC. Like, give me a Jason Aaron on Wonder Woman and like transform the character like how Thor was. I think that would be fucking amazing.
Oh yeah, that would be dope.
Am I reading Poison Ivy? No, I refuse to read like Batman side characters or Rogues Gallery unless it's like Joker. I've read Two-Face to give it a shot, but I read one issue of Poison Ivy and I was like, nope, I'm good. That's like the only character I don't read.
I'll read anything like Batman family as in closer, like Nightwing, or Waits the Titans and stuff like that. Like Bat family, like the central core Batman family. The extended stuff, like the Harley Quinn, no.
I just don't know what's DC's kick on like pushing Harley Quinn. Like, is there a reason why?
Bro,
like,
is there a
huge fan base for Harley Quinn?
Dude, that whole fart thing they did, I don't know who decided to do that.
I mean, bro, all the other look all the other executive orders they have done.
Yeah,
like I feel like they pushed the wrong characters. Yeah. Like you know, like to me, I've always thought the Marvel females were a lot better than DC. I don't think it's even close in terms of like diversity.
Do you think in general fans would dislike Daredevil?
Honestly, Wakes probably.
Yeah.
They probably would.
I keep teasing that to people, like saying that's what they could possibly do down the road, and everyone's like, "I don't like that." And they keep it grounded. Well, I mean, shit. You're not gonna like if they go.
Then
down
you tell them, don't tell them what's in the books. I don't want to read the books. Then why are you watching the show? Shut up.
I know, right?
Enjoy it. Like I just never met a group of, I guess, individuals who are just ignorant to like read or like learn something, but then bitch and complain, have your opinion on it. I just don't get it.
Me neither.
Wait, Ivy's the only one getting love right now? I mean, Catwoman's getting love, Batgirl's getting love. In terms of like I'm talking about when books are out, not like terms of subjective opinion, right? Yeah. I don't like arguing subjective opinions because I sit there, I'm like, dude, like we're not gonna change each other's opinions really. We're just yapping.
Yeah.
You know. But there's some books that like are doing well that I don't think are good.
Canary's interesting. I picked that up and I'm kind of getting slowly into it, but I need more time. But I haven't I still go to the comic book shop. That's why I haven't done a lot of the new comic book day videos. But like I've kind of been like very because I'm tight on money right now, but like I've been reading more online, like going to like the actual app store and like the Apple bookstore and stuff like that, and buying the issues and stuff like that. But I still go to the comic book shop to pick up like the main stuff, like Spider Man and whatnot.
Dude, I just pick up the books because the value of what I'm gonna get in the future.
Oh, for sure. I'm moving into a new apartment, so my money's tight right now. Really,
I have the Animal Man both omnibuses. I got 2 now.
dude, that's dope. That's really dope.
You have no idea. I've been wanting these omnibuses for like 2 years now.
Dude, you're gonna have a hell of a time reading that.
What, the Animal Man? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I never read the character. That's one of the characters I really have never read in my life.
He's a very fun, interesting character. I was kind of worried. I was wondering if they were going to ever, because I know they teased it in CW, but I was wondering if they were actually going to do right by it, but they didn't end up doing it. But
it's wild now. I have, in terms of hardcovers, I think I got 7 now. Mm-hmm. I got 2 DC, which are both Animal Man. Then I got Thor Volume 1. And then I got 3 Marvel Zombie hardcovers, but I had those when I was like 10.
I'll tell you what, I've been loving how Marvel and DC have been re-releasing some of these stories in manga form. Like, and
dude, I'm indifferent on that, bro. I'm so indifferent because I just bought one and I have the DC one too. But then I sit there like, if that shit does well, you don't think like I 100% believe that Marvel and DC will just stop releasing single issues if they don't sell well, and they just go to manga format. Because manga outsells comics like 10-1. And it's like, you don't think Marvel would think about that? Like, you know what? Why did we release single issues and not just do a manga form and we can just get so much sales?
Do you think they would have really profited from that though? Because
yes, 100%. Bro, manga, the whole industry of manga compared to comics is like 10-1. You know that, right?
Yeah, but like the thing with that though is that they have multiple stories. That's the more stories that people actually go out and read compared to Marvel and DC, where it's very, especially for DC, they couldn't do that because the only thing really people go out to go get is either the main core characters or Batman, mainly Batman.
Well, think about this. So Marvel, they release about 10 to 12 books a week, and they're $4 or $5 a pop. So, so let's say someone who wants to read everything like myself, I've just spent like $60 to $80 on Marvel a week. If let's say each character gets a whole manga book that has like 5 issues in it, charge $20. There you go. You don't have to go spend, and it has like 5 issues, like almost like a trade, but it's manga. Someone can just go to the comic store once a month, pick up that, like let's say it's Amazing Spider-Man, 5 issues 1 month, or they can go read Daredevil and Spider-Man. You spend $40 a month on 2 manga books. A lot more people would come to the comic book shops and buy it. Be a better market for them because they'll sell more, and a lot more people come to the shop to buy it. Because people can't afford single issues every week.
I think it will work for comic book stuff if we go back in time to give people more easier ways to read some of the older stuff. But I think the newer stuff, it would work better for Marvel and DC to still do the comic book stuff and graphic novels and whatnot. But yeah, because obviously you can go on Marvel Unlimited and read all you want. Like I do that all the time. But like DC,
I can't read online. I can't. I hate it.
I always do it. I've been doing a lot of rereading in the past 3 years. A lot of other characters. Like Daredevil, I finished up last January.
Before I go, have you seen the box office for Cap yet? Has it updated?
What is it saying?
No, I'm asking you.
Last time I checked, it still was at 305 million. What?
It was like a 341, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but that was Sunday, correct?
Yeah, so we probably get closer I think we get closer to 400 million by end of this weekend. Close. Not there yet, but close. If it continues doing what it's doing.
I'm hoping it gets to 450. That's kind of where I wanted at.
Dude, even at 400, I just wanted to cross 400. I'm going after some people when it crosses 400 because I'm going to be like, yeah, what are you talking about? It won't break even?
Well, I think after this weekend, so the reshoots, my thing is they don't calculate reshoots price, do they?
Well, that was calculated into it. All that was what was the box off the budget? They reported?
180.
Yeah, that's all the reshoots. Because people, that's the problem, and I've been having this issue with people, and they do it all the time. It's like they think that reshoots is just a new thing, and like people only do it if the movie's sucking. Like no, they do it all the time in movies and cinema across the board for years, decades. So it was only for 22 days, you know, and majority of that goes toward like the VFX and whatnot and all that stuff. So, but
So I'm saying that they probably already made their money back, right?
in terms of like the budget, yeah, they probably because they spent the marketing was really good. So yeah, probably about 400 million is when it'll break even.
You
It
think
probably
400?
Hmm?
You think so you think they spent over $200 million on advertisements?
No, but I think it, in terms of like being a safe break even number to say this movie did okay. I think
Well, that's what I'm saying though, because the budget's 180. That's without advertisements, right? So if you're saying 400 million to break even, that's over $200 million. You're saying.
well, I
That's
think it's already breaking even. I'm just saying as in like a safe like area, kind of like Batman Begins. I think 400 millions would work for Captain America: Brave New World because you can sit there and say it still did that number in the end. That makes sense.
because me personally, I think they spent like max 200, but I think they only spent about 150 million on advertisements. I don't think
They
these.
don't. I don't think they spent that much. I think Thunderbolts might be that, but
Okay, because like that's why I'm saying that's why I feel like they have already broken even.
yeah.
Like in terms of like the budget of the film, making it, and advertisements, and all that shit. Well, I guess you count theater cost too, but it's like I feel like in terms of advertisements and budget of actual film, they've already made their money back.
Well, that's the thing when people say with theaters, like theaters don't like pay or anything. Like they I mean, they get there's a portion, yes, but like theaters don't really get much out of that deal. Like
They only get like 25%, right, or something like that.
yeah, all their stuff they get from concessions. That's why you get all these popcorn buckets and stuff because they cracked the code. But thanks to Dune.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you go though because I gotta go make some content.
I appreciate you joining.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right. Anybody else want to join this live stream? I think I'll go for until like 4:20. So maybe another 40 minutes or so if y'all want to join. Talk about Daredevil Born Again. This was a good live stream, I have to say. Good after show. Even though I think the beginning of it was kind of rocky with that one dude. So great job. You're done. You've done live for 90 minutes. Thank you. Anybody else want to join? There's only two of you, or three. So, man, oh man, what are the reshoots for in general? Yeah, reshoots. Well, a lot of refining. I mean, there was a lot of script changes, but a lot of that was done before because they originally shot the show back in 2023, I believe, and they went back and then did the reshoots in 2024. Or no, my bad. They shot originally the movie in 2022, and then they did the reshoots in 2023 because that was right before the actors and writer strike and all that. So they got all that done beforehand, but it was for 22 days. So I think it started in May or late April, then went into June for 22 days or something like that. But that's typical. People do that all. They do it for any film. Like you can have a movie go for reshoots for 2 days. Like there's movies they work. Like for instance, Cross the Spider-Verse. Like they were working on that film up until release. Like and they still were working on it after release because there was tons of complaints about the audio and whatnot. So they had kind of like because now with movie theaters they just send it through like a link and stuff like that. They don't like send film out like they used to back in the old days. So like a lot of that they just kind of like an update to your phone, pretty much. And it's still a pain in the ass, though. When I worked in the movie theaters, that was a pain in the ass. Because you got to update shit. And update takes a while. But it's fast, though. But yeah. Daredevil Born Again. Well, I think I'm going to talk about how, personally, at the end of the day, Daredevil Born Again, episode 1 and 2, I personally enjoyed it. I think episode 1, I had to rewatch it again to get a better feel of it because I was so caught off guard how the pacing was for episode 1. But once I got to rewatch it again, I was ready for it, so it made my experience and really watching it 10 times better. So I appreciate it, and I love what they did with it in episode 2. So at the end of the day, I give it like an 8 out of 10. You know, but hopefully they continue it with the rest of the series. I know they're doing episode 3 next week, and then the week after episode 4, and then at the end of this month they're doing episode 5 and 6 together, and then the rest of the series will be episode per episode and whatnot. I'm kind of glad the premiere is over because I still haven't watched the last episode of Invincible. So, and I know Invincible War is about to start, so I need to watch that before that starts. I still haven't watched it. Yeah. So, the people in this live stream, what y'all think? What's your thoughts? You probably said it already. I just didn't read it. Let's see who's in here. From my mom's garage podcast. What's up, mom's garage podcast? Oh man. Let's see if we could share. Who haven't we not shared it to? Let's see what Steven's doing. He's probably working. Steven reacts. What's up? I would really like to know what Kayla thought about the episodes. Let me try sharing it to him real quick. All right. Share. Let's see. Let's see. Daredevil Born Again. But yeah, man, going into this, I rewatched everything, and looking back on it, like the whole Marvel Netflix era, like meant a lot to me when it came out. Like it came out through a very dark time for me personally in my life, my past. So it still, like, I can't believe that it's back. Like even after the first 2 episodes, I still can't believe it's back. So it just doesn't feel real. And I feel like it'll feel more real once we, more episodes drop, and then hopefully in season 2 we get more Foggy and Karen, and also like other defenders show up. Like, and I feel like when Punisher shows up at the end of this season, it'll finally feel more real to me. Then season 2, it's so obvious they're bringing Jessica Jones back. So, and but and if no one shows up here in like 3 minutes, I might wrap it up here. It was a good live stream though. But the whole live stream will be on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna upload it there. What's up, Steven? Do you mind giving your thoughts on Daredevil Born Again if you've seen the first 2 episodes? Yep. If you want. But yeah, this full live stream, the after show will be on YouTube after probably tomorrow. Cause it takes a while for the whole live stream to process on TikTok. So it'll probably be tomorrow. episode 1 of the after show of Daredevil Born Again. But I'm willing to have a couple more guests on here if they want to join. So, and give me your thoughts. I think it's pretty fair, this live stream, because we had people that didn't like it and then had people that loved it and stuff like that. And we talked about everything. Marvel, DC, Superman, Snyder, all that stuff. Here's my thing with Snyder. I think we might get a project from DC, because I don't think it's a coincidence that him and James Gunn were meeting up just to catch up on old times and then post a picture on it. They knew what they were doing when they had that picture and it was posted on the internet. Oh, come on, they knew what they were doing. They knew it. They knew what they were doing. Come on now. So that would be dope. I think I would like to see him do like a movie like how they did Army of the Dead. I like that movie. Not Army of the Dead. Was it Army of the Dead? I think it was Army of the Dead. I can't remember. It was the Netflix one. It was like one of his first movies after the Snyder stuff on Netflix. I think it was Army of the Dead, though. Well, if ain't nobody joining in the next 2 minutes, I'll be wrapping it up here. So. Oh, man. Nobody knows. But yeah, I'll be doing more like next week and the week after. Every episode drop on Tuesday. I'll be doing an after show the next day. I might try to do it within that night, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, I think I might wrap it up here, folks. But yes, thanks to everyone that joined. If you listen to this on YouTube, thank you for listening. To the people that joined on here, all the people that joined the live stream and contributed to this after show, thank you. We'll be doing this again the next week on Wednesday for the new episode of Daredevil Born Again. But yeah, thanks for watching. Cinema fans, please like and follow me everywhere on all platforms. And yeah, thank you for watching. So I'll talk to you later. Peace.